Hopefully, some people can see us right now.
Hopefully.
Yes, they can. Look, I can see us on there. Look, I'm on the other screen. I can see us over there. And there's some people in the chat.
There's people.
I know. I'm worried.
Oh my gosh.
1 minute early, and here they are. Well, I think my timer said now, so I just went with that. I feel like we're on time.
Yeah.
Black Toe
Yeah.
Studio always arrives precisely when they mean to. That's
Exactly.
how it rolls.
Nice. I don't know where you got that one from. It's quite a nice little
Bold of
line,
you.
that one there.
But yeah, I've been watching a fair bit of the kind of Tolkien-esque kind of world recently. So I did all the Hobbits and Lord of the Rings recently. So and watching Rings of Power at the moment. So it's quite a lot going on there. Anyway, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Just rabbiting on. I'm Tom, and this is that guy.
Hello, I'm Dom.
That's the one.
And welcome to Sit Talk and Hobby, episode 146, Tom.
Almost
Huzzah!
Almost 150. That's
We're getting there, aren't we?
A mini milestone for us, anyway.
So those tuning in for the first time, either live or watching us back, essentially what we do is we sit here and we chat for about an hour doing a bit of hobby. Encourage you to do exactly the same. If you're watching it back, just drop what you're doing. Just get some paints out and do some hobby, and hopefully a hot beverage as well. But Tom, what hobby are you working on tonight?
Well, I could do a little dump of some stuff I have been doing and the stuff I'm working on. So I think I mentioned to you I was doing some of my flamers. So I've actually been doing that. So here we go. Here's one of them. I've been trying out some contrast paints on these guys. I think they're actually coming out all right.
Nice.
It's not really the best lighting. I'm trying to show these off, but yeah. So doing a bit of that. Tonight I am working on weapon upgrades for my Valiants because I've got obviously the Lancer, Gladiator, all that kind of. I can't remember what they're called. Gladiator, Valiant, and Lancer. That's the one. So those ones there. So I'm just doing the main weapons of each of those at the moment because I've been using one variant of them pretty heavy recently, as Dom knows, and I wanted to try out some other ones after reading some rules a little bit more. Dom's looking forward to facing them when it does happen. So, but yeah, so getting some paint on those weapons, ready to equip to said vehicles. And how about yourself, Mr. Dominic?
Tom, I am working on painting possibly the most frustrating and overly complicated models in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. They are, of course, jackals. They are ridiculous models. I'll give you one good thing. The poses are cool. Like, they're very dynamic poses. However, they've got far too much detail, and I hate them already. So I am working on them at the moment, and I'm not enjoying them, as you can imagine.
Dear.
What's everyone in the chat working on? Something good, I hope. That's not jackals.
And while people are just letting us out, obviously there was a post in chat today about the competition. We have decided to delay it by 2 weeks to give some people chances to try and enter and update any of their entries that they want to. Solely because we felt like there was not that many entries. So we wanted to give people chances if they were thinking about it or didn't quite finish something in time, an extra 2 weeks to do it. So if you haven't, please do it. If you don't do it, fine, whatever. Just put the things up in the chat when you're done, and we'll have the kind of presentation on the 8th of October. Okay, so yeah, all got a little reprieve. If you want to work on yours a bit more than welcome. Just go for it. Don't hold back. Give us those nightly models. We want to see them. There's some quite good entries already. So have a look at what the people have done. You can probably knock something out in a very small amount of time. So just do it. Yeah. Just do it. And then here we are with some of the evening's hobby progress from the chat. So we have friend neighbour Inquisitor, who is going to be painting some Leagues of Votan later today.
Very nice.
Gavin is working on a TV. Sorry, just felt a bit sick reading that out.
Did he say the
I can't bring myself to say it.
No, don't blame me.
Daryl has just finished Astorath the Grim, and he's now building a Brutalis Dreadnought. Nice. Brutalis is a lovely model. Actually, oddly enough, I've got one sitting just over here, which I actually. Oh, I did a bit. Do you know what? I did a bit of work on this as well the other day. I forgot because I put the markings on. Because I realised I hadn't done them. So just I might add something on this little white panel on the front as well. But very cool models. I love the Brutalis. It's I wouldn't say it's the best model in the game, but it's quite a fun one. So yeah, cool down. Jack says nothing much tonight. Was hoping to start a new comp project, but then lazy other toadies ain't got their shiz together. I'm currently baking though. Fair enough, mate. Rules there say very kind. I'm still working on what would have been my entry, a custom. Yeah, I did see your last minute post. It was just as I was talking to Dom about the entry. So feel free to carry on with that one, Rules Lawyer. You got a little reprieve to add on to it as you'd like to. And then I think I'm probably going to over the next week come up with a way to post the entries in a way that I can definitely pick out the ones that you've put in, because I was going through it and I realised it's not very structured. So I'm kind of looking at it going, an entry. Was that not an entry? Did they need to put that there as an entry? And I just want to make it a bit easier. Also, I have like a tag you can put next to your entry piece.
Done. Hashtag done.
Yeah, that's something like that. Yeah, exactly. But I want to make it different for each entry, perhaps, so we know which one is corresponding to that month's entry. So maybe we'll do like a date, time, done, or something. So look out for that. But I obviously don't worry if you can't put it in this one, because I've got a fair idea of who's done what at the moment. Rules says, sorry it was late. Some parts were late. Some late days at work. And getting distracted by Actual Gods and Space Marine. Yeah, fair enough. I completely appreciate that. It's no problem. We all have other things going on. Just obviously use the 2 weeks we've given you.
Yeah.
And so
you got a bit more time now, people. Or if you haven't done one already, jump on board the bandwagon.
Yeah.
And paint some models.
I did see something like that, which I will just respond to as well, which was from Neighborhood Inquisitor saying Rings of Power has Tom Bombadil, so it's instantly the best thing ever. I was watching the obviously certain episodes of this. I've seen you're up to date, Dom. Obviously, yes. Other people on here. Sorry, it's not really a spoiler. I think someone's put in chat that Tom Bombadil's there, obviously. But I realised it was Rory Kinnear, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. And it took me a minute to realise who it was. I was like, oh, I actually thought that's a really good casting, because he's got that.
There was some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
With him in it, and yeah.
But he's that kind of. He's just got that. He's definitely got a Tom Bombadil vibe in some of the stuff I've watched him before. In that kind of, I think he just fits the character well. I think that was quite a good casting in that case. I didn't realise until watching it, because I haven't really been watching spoilers or anything or lead up stuff to any of the Rings of Power stuff. Oh god, they dragged poor Rory Kinnear into it. I will say, I did not like season 1. I still watched it. I am enjoying season 2 more now. I've just accepted it as its kind of own little riff on what's going on, and not trying to be purist about it in my head, because if I did that would I'd be here for all day. But we'll leave it at that.
Good. I'm glad, Tom. I'm glad you're feeling better about it.
I'm taking it as a kind of its own little interpretation of the world, so it's fine. And yeah, they've touched on some very cool key parts this season. So, which was nice. Especially around Sauron. I think Sauron's part in this one was a much more defined and made it made more of an impact this time around as well. I thought it was quite good. So
yes,
personally, and
absolutely. I think the last season, wasn't it? It was like, oh, is it Sauron? Is it not Sauron? Yeah. Oh, and then I was like, all right, that game's up. Right, this is what I'm doing, rather than.
Rules Lawyer, clearly not a fan. Fair enough. That's okay. Daryl says it doesn't deserve all the hate it's getting, and obviously Rules Lawyer countered with it. It does 100% deserve the hate. So there we go. There's two very differing opinions there, which is absolutely fine. But feel free to have a discussion in chat if you'd like to. Just don't develop into a raging row. That would be great. Or do, because that will count as chat text in our stream.
Yeah.
So if you want to get really deep on it, go for it.
Yeah, we're going to make some quotes from the online forums and paste them in.
We should start doing that every week, Dom. We should have a controversial topic that we can put in for people in chat to discuss.
I mean, last week we did quite well. We
Yeah,
had
yeah.
talked about the female custodes, or sorry, the week before. So we could talk about Lord of the Rings properties now, and then who knows what next week we'll pick.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to start.
Yeah, Star Wars or Star Trek. Who
Oh,
knows?
I thought they were the same. Oh.
Yes, yes. Feel the hate.
On the USS Millennium Falcon, wasn't it, or whatever it was? I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh dear. Speaking
What
of, sorry, come on.
What do you prefer, Star Wars or Star Trek?
It's a good question. I quite like. I like the world of Star Wars. A lot, and it is very much to do with the Force and all those kind of fancy Jedi tricks. I like that aspect of it. But I do also I think they're two very different things, because I like Star Trek for its kind of, they try to obviously make it more scientific based stuff that goes on, whereas obviously pretty much anything in Star Wars you can go, ooh, there's a bit of magic going on there, that kind of thing. It's
space magic.
That's pretty much it. There's things you can explain. You can do it. Whereas I think in Star Trek it's a bit more. They try to have a scientific reason for something happening the way around it and understanding it. But if I'm totally honest, I think the one big thing about Star Trek is I love Star Trek as a series.
Yep.
Individually, and I'd say everyone's kind of got their favourites. I still prefer Next Generation for me. Was one of the I grew up with watching that, and that was still one of my most favourite overall series. I've actually got the entire box set of all of them in the front room, which we occasionally go back and have a little sort of wander through. You sort of dip in and out of it. It's quite nice that you can just do that as well, because although there are ongoing kind of stories, it's not really, you don't really have to know what happened and everything before it to understand what's going on.
No, you can just pop in, can't you, and go, I'll just give it a go.
Yeah,
but you're right. I think Star Trek as a series, general series wise, all the different ones, definitely better than Star Wars. Film wise, Star Wars a lot better than the Star Trek films. I
think Star Trek films, I think the more recent ones have been a lot better, but they are a very big break from what I think the original ones were trying to do. So it's a very they went much more kind of serious with it, I think, whereas the other ones were kind of serious, but not. They were in their kind of quirky way that Star Trek kind of handles some of it. So and honestly, Picard is one of my the best captains in my opinion. So, and you don't have to fight me on that one. And Voyager I would put second. Is my favourites, because I remember getting the first episode of that on VHS. Jesus Christ, I just said that. And just watching that, I was like, "Oh, this is actually quite good. I like this one." A lot of people like Deep Space Nine. I'm not a huge fan. Don't know. Didn't really hit me on that one.
No, I love a bit of DS9, to be honest. The whole Dominion Wars. I was like, yes, what I want to see. I love it.
But I suppose that's the cool thing about it. I think there's actually there's almost a series for every type of person or every type of taste. If you like that kind of grounded in a location kind of thing, that's cool. You get that kind of this is essentially it's a large city in space, and you get that kind of vibe from it. Where if you want something a bit more exploration based, you get all those things. It's I think it's quite cool.
Absolutely.
There we go. So we do have some comments here. I will go through a few if you don't mind, Dom. Just go for it. So Picard or Kirk discuss. I think we're just doing that. Kirk is. I'm not a fan of Kirk personally. Especially original Kirk. I think the movie Kirk of the new one, as in Chris Pine, wasn't it? I think played, didn't he? Quite like that version of him. He's quite cool. But I think that might just be the movie magic hitting in there rather necessarily than the character. Yeah, because it's not like you've had to get used to him over a massive series that was played through. So how about you, Dom? Picard or Kirk?
Picard.
There we go. I agree. And then we've got obviously my personal joke. Nothing beats the Lord Lotor films. Yeah, I mean, I think they're such a separate genre. You can like both very heavily. in my opinion. They're
Absolutely.
so different, you know. Yeah, it's very different, very different. Yeah, yeah. There's literally no spaceships in Lord of the Rings that I'm aware of. So there we go. I would
Yeah.
generally be torn on Star Trek versus Star Wars. That's cool. TNG is my favourite show of all time. Yeah, I agree. It's one. I mean, I wouldn't say it's my all-time favourite show of everything I've ever watched, but it's definitely up there because I tend to categorise them into different genres and kind of like them on that level. So because like for instance, I really like Scrubs, but if you, I don't think you can compare TNG and Scrubs. They're two very different entities in very different ways, but they're both very good TV series. Um,
Birds of a feather.
Birds of a feather. How old is that, Dom?
Oh,
Was
over
that
20 odd
Pauline
years.
Quirk and
Yeah, there you go.
who's the other one? I always forget the other one.
Who was Birds of a
I
feather?
genuinely cannot remember who the other person in Birds of a Feather was. You'll find out in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm on it. Linda Robson.
Linda Robs, that was it. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I not. I don't actually remember ever watching kind of like episodes back to back and that, but
IMDb
I probably caught them.
6.2 out of 10. Oh, Amazon 4.6 out of 5.
Oh, well, there we
There
go.
you go.
Um,
Be interesting to see what Next Generation got.
Gavin watched the premiere of Voyager when it came out on television. Cool. Deep Space Nine really upped the production on space battles. That was Friend Neighbor Inquisitor. Captain Jack saying Star Wars for me. Some great Star Trek stuff though. DS9 was great when it got going. It was a shame it got dragged into the
Yeah.
production cast politics. I mean, they all do. Rules Lawyer, TNG, and DS are top for me. In The Pale Moonlight is one of the best episodes of any TV show ever. The perfect 45 minutes. Nice. Gavin, Stargate. I didn't like Stargate personally, but that's just me. Vicky's gonna be
No,
if
Stargate was
Vicky's still
good. I mean,
watching, she's gonna kill me.
Stargate was brilliant. However, a lot of the episodes were essentially like we watched it back to back. We got on DVD and we're watching it. Every series had the same 4 episodes, and it was like, oh god, here we go again. Oh, we've gone through Stargate. We've all lost our memories. Where are we? Or oh, our personalities have been put into different bodies. Oh no! Or in a time loop. Like, come on, something original.
Other little outside mentions. I really love The Expanse.
Yep.
That was on. I think that was on Amazon if I remember correctly. The Expanse was awesome. I didn't actually realise there was obviously spawned off quite a large book series. But I did actually look at some of the synopses of the books, and it's quite interesting how a lot of it differs from those. But yeah, I'm not going to go reading them, so it's not really something I've got time to do. But it's definitely cool. I'd love The Expanse's concept of kind of that gritty, far future world that we live in. And having people, yeah. Oh, someone's put Firefly, and I know you love Firefly, Dom.
Yeah, Firefly. Yes,
I never watched it. I'm totally
100%.
honest. So
Really?
nope, never did.
That was good.
I know. I'm sure it is. I just realised I never actually watched it.
You watched Serenity, the film?
I have watched Serenity the film. Yes, because
Okay, yeah,
that's the same cast, isn't it?
Same car, same thing, just in a film format. Yeah.
What we got here? Okay, so 5. Yeah, we got here. As Gavin says, there is no dial pad. How do we get home? Episode Stargate episode. Oh, I don't know that one, but there we go.
Yes, there you go. That'd be the same one. Gavin knows. Gavin's seen all of them.
Before I read out Sam's, I'll just keep with the. So Dow says The Expanse is great, hoping for a spin-off from that at some point. Yeah, that would be cool. Jack says I was well pissed how they ended Stargate series with Robert Carlyle. My beef with Star Trek is the mandatory back in time episodes. I always find odd enough, I absolutely love the Q episodes though when he just pops up randomly. I think that's quite cool because it's like that is some space magic there, but obviously I think it is based in science in some way. But I don't know. But yeah, it's just madness. And Felpar, just to switch the subject, said, "Has anyone watched DC's new Penguin series yet?"
I've seen the trailers for it, and I'm like, oh, okay,
is that an animated one? I presume.
No.
No, is that? Oh, is it? Is it? Oh, what's his face?
Yeah, he's back.
Ooh.
So,
Colin Farrell, isn't it? That's the one. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I might watch that. I quite liked him in the film actually. He was pretty good. Definitely have to keep an eye out for that. And now I'm going to flip it back to something that annoyed me this week with something I watched, because I watched the Bullets Tithes thing.
Okay, the plain one.
Yeah, well, not really.
Okay, so should we have a spoiler alert thing for this?
Spoiler alert for anything to do with the Tithes, bullets, blah 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 blah. Have you watched it, Dom?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
Yeah. See, all you remember was the plane. There was it was cut into 4 different pieces in my opinion. That film, it was all over the place. Remember they landed,
Yeah,
and it was
had a good story.
here's your nothing, and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah.
I like that twist. I thought it was good.
No, I get what they're.
No, I like the twist where they were like, I know we're taking your ammunition.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that's harsh. And then when they sorry if you, so there was a spoiler to this. And when they land on the final planet, and they're like, just destroy it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
It's too heavy. We can't support the weight.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
like, yes.
I understand what they're trying to portray. They're trying to portray obviously the massive bureaucracy and how no decisions are made really without any, Yep. It's just like, we need these. Go get them. Why do you do that? We're not going to ask why. We're just requesting that shit, even if we're going to bin it. But I just felt I felt the whole thing was all over the place for the entire thing. It just felt very disjointed as an actual production. And I think it's because, again, I think it's because they didn't have time to tell the story.
Yeah. I mean, they're only going to be 20-minute long episodes.
Yeah,
that's the problem,
exactly.
isn't it?
And it's a shame because I wanted to know more about obviously the commissar guy or whatever it was. He said he's seen quite a cool character, but it was very much like, I'm angry. Yeah. No, I'm not leaving. I'm gonna defend this place with my life. Have my bullets. And then gets punched in the chest by an orc and almost dies and gets picked up, and then that's it. That's just, he's done. But why?
I felt a bit of a shame that a lot of the stormtroopers died. Like half of the stormtroopers died in the initial dogfight.
Yes.
But, right, that's a shame because they did seem like a cool little crew, and then you've got the standard sergeant, special weapon, and
the snipery guy with the had the hot lads, didn't they, or whatever it was on with the backpack. Yeah, and that's where I think it was a shame, because I would love to watch something like that as a kind of a extended series. So, where they go, because if you think about that entire premise, it would have been quite cool to have the first episode covering their landing down, and then having to survive for a bit down there without any without any ammo and stuff. I think it'd be quite a cool premise, but it's a shame. It just felt very rushed. And I
think it would be nice if you saw the story from different angles rather than spread it out, because I think initially they couldn't land on the planet, ask for all the ammunition, and then be kind of like, oh, we're gonna stay here and fight anyway, or land on the planet and go, whoa, we're not opening the ships yet. We have to know what you're like, develop a relationship, and then we're going to take all your ammo. But it would have been quite nice. Like you said, you could have learned a bit more backstory about the commissar.
Yes.
Or the guys on the planet. Or, they had the whole trench, the people in the trench. The people in the trench, I just thought was a weird little subplot that really didn't go anywhere. They didn't need that at all.
It was like when the defences got blown up, and it was like, oh, okay, so what's happening with these guys? They're just going to... And obviously the leader at the bottom, under the ground, obviously, but then it came up, and then coming up, going to the front line after they drove off. It's like, well, we're screwed basically, but we'll just cut away from here. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I think I'm just craving a little. I think I'm just craving another long form animation. I think a bit like the Angels of Death one at the beginning, something that on that length, kind of like an hour and a half, 2 hours. With some character building in it, because it just feels these little snippets just don't do that. Just don't do it.
Did you watch the Inquisitor series, the black and white one?
Yes, that was good. I liked that. That was a very nice kind of it had a good flow to it, and that. But the nice thing about that, I think that worked as an episodic kind of thing. That kind of worked. It was very much find out next week what happens to you. It's pretty cool kind of thing, and yeah, the story was pretty good because they delved into that characters' backgrounds a little bit, and where they came from, why they were there, why they've got a bit nutty. And I think I like that because there's a bit more character development. It made you kind of give a crap about the main character as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What's being said here? So, obviously the courtroom Star Trek. Oh yeah, Measure of Man. Yeah, cool. To keep it 40k related, have any of you seen the Awakening fan animation movie here on YouTube, which is 50? No, I have not seen that one yet, actually. No. I think the last animation I watched from YouTube before, obviously, it got a bit sparse, was the Betrayal at Calth one.
Yeah, that was quite good. I've seen it advertised. I haven't clicked on it yet because I didn't think the thumbnail looked too amazing. But going back to the subject of the Commissar,
yeah,
I think, and I don't think it's too much of wishful thinking, that I do think that the Warhammer TV guys are revisiting characters. With so they've had these different war zones, haven't they? And you suddenly see a character coming back. For instance, I think there was the Salamander in the first Awakening, first Tive one. The Salamander was there.
Yes, with the Apothecary one.
So I think it could be interesting that they might do a bit of a prequel story to the Commissar, or they'll
potentially
do some follow-up bits.
Because I mean, the Commissariat could be quite an interesting kind of thing, because if you think about all those characters, all the Commissar, we don't really know much about that whole kind of that way of life and how they get brought into that situation, that kind of thing. So that could be. I think that'd be a really cool premise for that, actually. But I guess we'll see. Have to wait and see. If they decide that that's worthy of animation time. Obviously, we've still got this Amazon thing that's dragging on that I'm aware of. I don't know if it's been cancelled going ahead. So, and ultimately, depending on what that is, that could be a big lifesaver. Oh, here we go. So Star Wars just pips it to the win, by the way, there.
Yeah. 55%. That's interesting. I thought Star Wars might go a bit higher, but
I think it's, as I said, I think it's a hard one to pick, those two. So,
and to be fair, I mean, we could kind of push it in one direction or the other. The more we kind of say films or series or blah, 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 blah. So
yeah, because I will confess, some of the Disney series on Star Wars were good. I think they've oversaturated again a little bit, a bit like what they did with Marvel. I think there's too many. That have come out over that. I enjoyed The Mandalorian. And what was the other one? What was the recent one? Acolyte, wasn't it? I haven't watched that yet. It just didn't really.
Acolyte's interesting. I've watched some of them. It's got some good bits. It's also got bits where I'm like, I've lost interest now.
Yeah.
So, Andor's the best one.
Yes, Andor's. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I would actually. I'm going to put Andor above Mandalorian.
Ooh. I don't know. Interesting. I'm trying to think of some other ones that I've watched on there, but yeah. Anyway, cool. So at the moment, Star Wars is there by barely 10%. So
good times.
What's this? I loved Acolyte. Plus, Episode 8 had a pretty cool cameo at the end. No idea about it. I'll probably will go and watch it at some point. I think the one I think I should have watched recently is Shogun. Because I haven't watched that yet.
Shogun.
And I've seen that got some very heavy award love, and also a lot of people have been raving about it. I haven't really been on Disney too much recently, so I'll have to check that out.
100%. Oh, there we go. Got an interesting split there. But yes, generally TV. God, that's good, isn't it? We all like TV.
Who needs models? We'll just become a TV channel review.
Yeah,
that's it. Done. We're just gonna
films.
Gonna review films and all that jazz.
Oh, what film did I watch the other day? Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, Dom, no.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that for donkey's years. Does it still hold up?
Samuel L. Jackson. I would say a lot of the animation does not hold up. I think even at the time, I was like, the animation doesn't hold up anyway. And even 20 years on, it's like, it's not got better with age.
Maybe it's classed as classic.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You think that water is deadly? Try
Oh,
ice.
yeah. It's a shame.
Oh dear.
I like the premise. I like the premise of it, and I was kind of thinking like that'd be quite cool in 40k. Like you had the Forge World campaign, didn't you, with the Red Scorpions and the Elysians on the with the Tyranids?
Yes.
And I was like, ah, that would be quite cool, wouldn't it? Really, that would be a good animation. That would be a really good animation, like a
Yeah.
load of Elysian drop troops or like Red Scorpions going through like a lab that had Tyranids in it and they've escaped.
Yeah.
Clever
Yeah. That'd
Tyranids.
be. Yeah. God knows who's capturing Tyranids in the Imperium. There. I bet you someone's doing it. They.
Well, that was the idea of the campaign, though,
Yeah.
wasn't it? They had the Inquisition.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what was the
I'm trying to remember
someone put
because I'm a little bit. Yeah. I can't remember the name of the. I'll look it up in a bit. See if I can find it.
Lock? Yeah, someone put it in the chat if you remember.
Oh. Okay. But everyone was morons. Every step of it dragged as they bloated the runtime with busy work. It doesn't seem to understand morality because the editorial stance leaps all over there. I assume that's the relation to Acolyte. Sounds like Cryptman. Oh dear. Well, if we start, this is it. We start it now.
There you go.
This is it. We tapped into some people talking about some passionate things. This is good. I like it. It's
Yeah, it's all good. So it's nice to know, and I think the thing as well, we can't all like the same things.
no.
We've all got different tastes. And what's quite nice about the internet in some ways is that we are all coming from different cultures. That
Very
we all
much
kind
so,
of have
yeah.
like, yeah, we've all got a different outlook on life a little bit. There you go, that's me sitting on the fence.
Dom is not removable from the fence, unfortunately. He is
Nope.
stuck there
I'm sitting on the
permanently.
fence.
I
I've got my
sometimes
views on certain things.
I sometimes stray,
Acolyte.
but I sit on the fence a lot, but I do sometimes stray on certain things that annoy me enough.
Yep. Absolutely. We'll avoid politics. Let's do that. Catching two. Yeah.
Well, maybe we should do. I know. I think I saw Tabletop Tactics did a video recently where they modded. They kind of modded the Space Marine 2 gameplay into a tabletop version. So it was like you had your 3 Space Marines trying to hold off a horde of Tyranids. I thought that was quite a cool concept for a little game.
Yeah.
Obviously, they pumped the
They've got
Space Marines up a bit, and yeah,
horde mode.
that's
That's
the
the thing,
one.
isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, they released another video today. Black Templars actually, Tom. I don't know if
Oh,
you've
I haven't caught one. I
heard
haven't
of
checked
those
up today.
fellows.
I mean, they're a nice. They're a
Um,
nice bunch. I've heard. They're good to hang out with.
quite
Have
passionate
a beer
about
with.
what they believe in.
We believe in everything. If it's the Emperor.
Yeah, he's our favourite. Yeah, that was cool. I like that idea. It's quite nice that they've kind of got their little rule set and they're running with it. I don't know if it's their rule set or someone else's.
I thought they did it, but
Obviously.
maybe I might be wrong because I didn't. I need to watch the full thing. Vicky, I was kind of watching it over Vicky's shoulder a bit, so. But it looked interesting, and I like I like those ideas because we've always tried to do some of those in the past, but getting the rules right to make it kind of fair enough for the smaller squad to kind of succeed, but not so it's trivial. It's quite an interesting balance to have, because if you play the actual game Space Marine 2, you can hack your way through lots of the little ones, and it's the big ones that cause you trouble, which is a good balance. When you grab a gaunt by the tail and just literally ground pound it like a like a tennis racket into the ground, it's quite amusing. But then it's like, oh, that's a warrior. He's a bit tougher. He's got 2 swords. He's going to try and take my head off.
That's the thing about like with Kill Team and stuff, though, isn't it? That you have this elite group of characters that you're kind of behind and you want to embrace and push them all the way. But then if you put them up against a swarm, which I think they've done in the new version, that you can go, oh, cool. How many did he take out? Oh, I took out 4 or 5 or whatever, instead of just like
One.
in Kill Team or any other game of 40k. Yeah, 1 maybe
Oh,
before you get taken
I'm so
out.
powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a veteran sergeant.
With my plasma pistol that doesn't fire properly.
Hazardous plasma pistol. Tom, we
Yes.
played a game together, didn't we?
Oh yes,
Just
we did.
remember.
On that very
Can we talk
battlefield
about our
behind you.
game?
Okay. I think it's changed a little bit, but it was
I'll light
rough.
it up.
It's always going to light up. Light it up, up,
Boom!
light it up, up.
There we go.
There you
Yeah,
go.
we played a game.
We did. It was a good game. We played 2,000 points. I played Dom's World Eater tournament list.
Yep.
With a list that I tried to make a bit tournamenty. I don't think it worked as well. I wouldn't say it was terrible. I didn't actually. The game was going very badly at the beginning for me. Very badly.
What happened in turn 1, Tom?
Well, you took out a 21-man Crusader squad. 20-man Crusader squad and Grimoldus with two units.
Yeah.
And Dom had actually managed to draw the secondary called Cull the Horde, and got max points on it, which is
never been able to achieve that. Yeah.
Pretty impressive on a turn 1. Yeah. And then I think the first 2 turns were pretty bad for me. I rallied a bit in the 3rd and 4th, but couldn't quite pull the point difference back by the 5th round. Mainly because I think Lord of Skulls was causing me a lot of problems. Angron not so much.
No.
But he's a distraction.
I mean, he did kill a lot of stuff in turn 1.
He did.
And he killed probably about 6 Sword Brethren. Sword Brethren?
Yeah.
Sword Brethren? Yeah. A few of them then died, then came back at the end.
Yeah, I think last turn they couldn't quite get somewhere to do anything, I think, at the end. But your list was pretty cool. Yeah, so he failed his last charge. That was a yes, I remember.
Failed his last charge, and your Terminators came in and buffed him up.
Yeah, that's right.
Poor Angron.
So yeah, I made some adjustments. This is what I was talking about earlier about the changes to a couple of my vehicles I wanted to try out. So I want to try the Black Templars Gladiator Lancer build because I felt I've been running the Gladiator Valiance basically recently, which is the triple multi-melter builds because obviously you get 2 on the side, 1 on the top, and obviously the main sort of twin las. The twin las gun, I think, is it, or twin las cannon, I think, is the smaller one. And yeah, they just, I mean, you have to admit the multi-melters are very weird, aren't they?
Yeah, just a bit of a weird place, multi-melters in general.
I know we spoke this before, but after that game, I think I feel even more like, what's the purpose?
Yeah, it's just a bit of a funny place.
Yeah. Because they just don't seem to. They don't convert to the damage. I mean, that's the problem. They don't convert to damage. You can, especially if you think about the ones I bought. I had 6 multi-melter shots, and obviously on average probably half hit each turn, which is fair enough. I can live with that because they got a pretty good hit. But when it comes to the wounding part, they just seem to really struggle getting into that kind of, putting down. Yeah. Do that. So, and Dave says Lancer is the best version with the built-in. I know it is. It makes me sick that I'm going to run it.
We've had a conversation about this already. It is ridiculous. I've played against Lancers so many times, and I still kind of have to bite my tongue a bit, and I'm like, oh really? Reroll a hit. Oh, okay. Oh. And the wound. Oh, you got 1 damage. Oh, you're rerolling that as well, are you? What's the AP of the gun? -4 or something?
Yeah, it is -4.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, I did. I made some adjustments to the list, by the way. I put an Apothecary in.
Yeah, nice.
I kept Grimoldus, so the Apothecary's going to join Chaplain Grimoldus' squad to make that big block.
Feel no pain-ish.
Yeah. No, it's not Feel No Pain. They don't.
So bring the models back?
It brings bottles back, and I think they can heal wounds. So while it's leading a model, I can return 1 destroyed model each turn. Plus, when a model's body guardian is destroyed, I can roll a d6 and get 2+. Apparently, that's to simulate you get your gene seed back, which I think was quite amusing. There's so many of them. I'll just get this one.
Yeah,
And then obviously
Don't
I
push.
switched the Lancers to the Valiants to Lancers, which
Yep.
meant I had to drop the jump squads, which I wasn't
Right.
that impressed with, to be honest. They're all right. I think
They did kill 10 jackals.
I know, yeah.
Oh no, 9 jackals.
9 jackals, but I did put a Hellblaster squad in.
Oh, okay.
Just to round
Nice.
out that back line a little bit with something to shoot with. So yeah, the intention of that is.
yeah.
Did I have to drop the? Did I? Oh no, I've still got the impulse from there as well. So yeah, but it's kind of going to more focus around that big 10-man Primaris Sword Brethren squad, sort of doing a bit of work because they were good actually. They that worked. That Judicar, they lasted quite a while. What they went into, they tended to chew through just about enough because that fight first gave them that little edge. It was only when I think Angron was the big issue on that one because he's just so many wounds to go through. Although when the devastating wounds started coming through from the Thunderhammers, that was actually quite good.
Yeah. I mean, with Angron in that situation, so essentially Tom had charged him in with his Sword Brethren, and there's a stratagem for World Eaters. You say word bearers by default. World Eaters to reduce the damage by 1, which is 2 CP, so it's quite a pricey one anyway.
Yeah.
But I decided I wanted to keep my 2 CP and do a bit of a counter strike somewhere else. So I was just like, Angron can handle this, and I think he did quite well.
Yes.
Although he was taken down quite dramatically.
He didn't die, but he
no, he was definitely bracketed though.
Yes, I think I got him down to like 7 wounds, 5 to 7 wounds, something like that. I think it was
about 5 wounds.
Yeah,
did a lot of damage to him.
Yeah, but because you had that option, and he had me worried because obviously I'd obviously turned on that ability, and we were looking at the kind of ordering of it, and so technically I can turn it on. Then you can counter with the I'm going to reduce the damage because it's done at that point. So, but yeah, I think overall I wasn't upset with my list. I think it just needed some tweaks. I thought yours played very well. I thought it was very aggressive.
Very aggressive.
Admittedly, my army is quite aggressive as well. So when they face up against each other, we both deployed quite far up because both of us want the first turn. Really, that's just unfortunately the way these lists work.
I was thinking that. I was like, what would happen if Tom went first? Like, what? Well,
you would have.
Don't really.
No, but you would have received a full-size Crusader squad in the face on one of the units, basically. And I don't think it would have been as effective as your one, but I think I would have. I think you would have been hard pressed with your Juggernaut and 8-bound to survive that. I think it'd just be too many hits. I don't think I could take an Angron on. I think that would have been too much for them. I think they would have lasted a turn, but I think they would have definitely not done enough to him. If I'd gone with like lethal hits as my overall army ability, might have helped a bit more. But no, it's they're more of a unit that you kind of put somewhere and say shift it.
I mean, one of my takeaways from that situation, like in turn 1. So those who don't play World Eaters, you've got to roll for your Blessings of Corn, and I think I got Feel No Pain and +2 to my movement.
Yes.
So I didn't even get advance and charge, but I was still able to get straight in to your Crusader squad with both the Exalted 8-bounds and with Angron.
Correct.
So I was kind of thinking, like, in that case, what would have happened then if, maybe it would have been even more deadly. Like, if you went first and got closer with some other units, I might be able to push up like Berserkers.
But also your Knights would have been in range.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, because obviously you didn't even talk about the Knights. I mean, I left both of them alone pretty much, bar one towards the end, I think it was. But mainly because I was trying to use my 2 gladiators as the anti-armor, and they just didn't really do the job. So, and I think you took one out with a single volley from your Lord of Skulls, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It was just because that thing's got some horrendous guns. If you get enough shots with them, I will counter that point, because if you roll low on number of shots, it's basically not that brilliant. So the randomness doesn't help. So, but yeah, it was a cool game. Enjoyed myself. Hope we get another one again soon, and we'll try it again maybe before you go on your tournament again. I'll come back with my modified list, see how put all the top 10 Templar units in, whatever. Just do that.
Get all of them in.
get all of them. Just put them.
See what happens.
Well, I hope I'll have another Brutalis soon. I'll do double Brutalis.
Double Brutalis.
Yeah, double Brutalis. Yeah.
Oh,
Just make a steel wall with a tech ring in
go
between
for
it.
it.
Just yeah.
Yeah, running up with him.
And then-
Oh, wait for me,
And then when one
boys.
gets angry, when one dies, he can get really angry and swing his axe and try and do. Yeah, it was quite a cool little. So I was thinking actually a tech marine with the Omnissire's sort of wrath on it after losing it with the Templars rules. Obviously, it gets like 7 attacks.
Yep.
That would be quite fun. Especially with the accept any challenge, so it's triggering sustained hits. I think that would be quite an entertaining little tech marine going a bit mental.
Black Templar. Yeah, Tech Marine. Mourning the death of his blessed dreadnoughts.
Yeah. I still want to try a full dreadnought list, but I want to try like a new age dreadnought list, so all the new types of dreadnoughts only. I think I'd love to do that, so I'm gonna have to get some more.
How many Primaris dreadnoughts are there now? 3?
You've got Ballistus, Brutalis, and Redemptor. I don't know if you count the war suits as a dreadnought really, because it's more of it's piloted by a. Well, it's because they're piloted by someone inside a carry cage, aren't they? They're not actually a dreadnought, are they? They've got someone inside a
people
frame.
with legs
Yeah.
and arms.
Yeah. What's that say?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw, but apparently the GA. Oh, sorry, that's sent halfway through a message, so I'll retype it. Okay, cool. No worries for an open Inquisitor. What else we got going on here? There's a new paint box with Titus and 5 nids coming out. Oh, cool. I'll keep an eye out for that one. I'm going to build an Ultramarines kill team. Nice.
That's cool.
Oh, here we are. I don't know if you guys saw, but they just teased for the upcoming reveal show that there'll be 1,000 Suns. There we go.
Interesting. That'd be good. I think the 1,000 Suns are that Chaos faction that are just, unfortunately, quite lackluster. They just, unlike Death Guard and World Eaters. Yeah, well, kind of World Eaters. I mean, in comparison, the World Eaters have got a lot compared to 1,000 Suns in the very short time they've been about.
Yeah.
It's
annoying though, because 1,000 Suns, I think 1,000 Sun paint scheme is amazing. I love when it's crisply done. I think it looks beautiful. The Reboot Marines are I love the look of Reboot Marines, but that's just on their Instagram they just said which faction is this, and it's a pile of ash. The old classic 1,000 Sun tomfoolery. Let's put a pile of ash here. Guess who these guys are? Space Wolf lunch.
Yeah.
Oh Christ, where'd that go? I think I just lost it.
How's everyone's painting going anyway? Is everyone doing painting or?
Hopefully everyone is still going. Oh no, it's there. Cool. That's right. Okay.
Oh God.
Come on, Jackal boy.
There's just so much. The other. So obviously, Tom, I've spent a lot of time paying attention to these models, and they are very cool. Like they're very dynamic. And I was looking at them, and I was like, oh, they've got frag grenades. Oh, so does that mean they've got the grenade keyword? No, they're just like, oh, we just chuck some grenades on there.
I think they just attach grenades to their chainsaws.
Yeah. What could go wrong?
It's their anti-tank method. Oh, I'm just going to put this on the end of this, and I'm going to drive it into the chest of that thing.
Well, they could have grenades in the old. Maybe the old rules.
Well, I suppose with grenade, because they changed the way grenades work. It's all keyword now, isn't it? Grenade. It's not really actually a weapon for anything apart. Oh, except for guard. Obviously, they've got grenade launchers, haven't they? So, well, I assume they still do. But yeah, it's normally that mortal wounding thing now, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, which would be kind of handy. It'd be quite nice if they're able to do something. I mean, saying that, I played one game with them. They could take out light infantry quite well. And I was really hoping that you wouldn't kill so many of them, Tom, so I could see if I could kill any Marines.
I'm just disappointed I didn't kill them all, quite frankly. I think that was bloody pathetic. I'm pretty sure it was that Feel No Pain that saved you as well.
Yeah, it was.
You won't get any saves, I can tell you that.
6 up save.
Yeah, the T-shirt special. Here we go. So Gavin says, I wonder what they'll add to the Thousand Suns army. Another psychic unit that can't use psychic powers because there's no more psychic phase. They've got psychic powers. They just count as shooting attacks, Gavin. I've burnt my tongue sampling chocolate crunch. It was not. Oh, okay, Captain Jack, careful there, mate. Thousand Suns would be cool. Hopefully they get some interesting psychic units. In the Heresy, they get psychically controlled Castellax, the new mid-sized mech unit. Rumour has it they're getting their old Castellax automata, but twisted and warped by a Vash Tor. Oh, okay. It's not the same. It is, Gavin. It's fine. No, I'm with Gavin here. Psychic. If I'm totally honest, I do miss some of the psychic powers, but I don't miss how it slowed the game down.
No, I'm with Gavin. I miss feeling special and having psychic powers. But I do, like word bearers. That's our thing, baby. We could do all sorts of stuff. And they'll be like, oh, you play Black Templars, do you? How quaint. Sit back as I do my psychic abilities.
And I go.
And now it's just like, it's just a special rule.
Yeah, good. So, too much psychic shenanigans going on in this world.
Yeah. And there you are with your re-rolling hit, wound and damage guns.
Science! Proven science!
Psychic powers like, -1 to hit this squad. Oh, great. Yeah. You've got re-roll hit! He doesn't need that.
Oh, someone's been cutting the lemons again.
I think the person who did 10th edition was clearly a Tau player.
Well,
let's give it a psychic altogether.
Well, maybe they'll add it in the next edition, or they'll modify it. But I don't see how they can in the middle of this edition, because there's nowhere to fit it now. They changed the dynamic of how it works
I don't think
completely. I think it would be a full new edition again, because there didn't used to be a psychic phase previously, did there? At one point, if I remember correctly, wasn't the psychic phase used to be something different, didn't it?
Can't remember, to be honest.
4th, 5th edition. So I don't recall psychic phase being in there. I thought it came in 6th and 7th.
No, everyone likes psychic phase, Tom.
Well, it's interesting because obviously when you go back to like standard Warhammer, I love the magic in that. That was cool, and it's a very similar kind of thing to that, wasn't it? I don't know.
Similar vibe.
The same guy who did 8th edition shooting armies are fun. No assault. I don't know. I thought 8th had. I think shooting armies have had a bit of a run of it of late in the last few editions. I think definitely. I think the assault's been a little bit lacking behind. I think it's better in this edition. Definitely. I feel like assault armies do have a chance to actually do some fairly good actions.
I think generally as the game's progressed, I think shooting is great, but you do need to be off your butt and going for objectives and doing stuff.
Yes.
So once you're doing that, you are going to be getting close to the enemy and you're going to be getting engaged in assault. Yeah, from the neighborhood because 50-50 on it. I like the offensive spells being worked into ranged weapons, but I miss the defensive spells. Yeah, I think that's what I kind of miss as well. The offensive stuff I'm not overly fussed with because it's very easy fix to chuck that into your ranged attack.
Yes. Yeah,
or even if you had something in combat, like you could boost your guy up once a turn pattern and special rules. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of miss it, to be honest, at times.
I think the thing that the bit I don't miss about it, if they, oddly enough, if they just pared down the number of psychic powers that were available, I think that would have been enough and just made them more useful. Because I think pretty much everyone had when they had the old decks of psychic cards. I think you got, what was it, 6 and the smite or something like that, wasn't it? You really only ever saw certain ones being used. It wasn't like, oh, I'll use this one here that no one uses because it sounds interesting. No, this is useless, this spell. That was basically, there's always like a couple of useless ones. Because I remember 7th edition, I think, was the heyday for psychic, because that's when you got the standard breakdowns, didn't you? You had like biomancy and all those kind of schools of psychic power. And each of them had 6 powers and smite, and and you could build out how you wanted it to. And then they obviously, when the chaos stuff came in, they obviously added in ones for each of the individual gods and stuff like that. So but I think it got a bit bloated in a way. What's that say? Yeah, but that's Warhammer, Tom. There's units you never take because they're useless. No, no unit is useless apart from the one that Gavin is painting right now.
Wow. Poor Gavin. Spent his hard-earned money on that, and you just took him out.
No,
Bam!
I don't think he spent any money for it. He probably just went down the local charity shop and there was probably a box of them. And when I say a box, I don't mean like a box you buy from from Games Workshop. I mean like it was like a cardboard box full of them, where someone had gone, "Oh, why?"
I'm going. Right, where is he? Where is he? Like the thing of Master Possession, okay?
Yeah.
Equally, he was a lot better in the old rules than he is now. Like abilities. Add 1 to advance and charge for the only squad that he can lead. Oh, and I can lead a couple of squads.
Ooh.
It's just.
He's changed his mind now.
Hang on, where is he? That's not the one I wanted. Sorcerer. Let's have a look. Does a classic mortal wounds, yeah? So that's like your classic smite.
Yes.
And his ability is, while this model is leading unit, each time an attack targets that unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. In my opinion, a little bit lackluster.
Oh, I've had a private message. Well, that is not what I was talking about, Gavin. However, they are equally as useless. I'm just having a look at the offerings from the Space Marine librarians now. So the standard librarian has got the psychic hood, so feel no pain against psychic attacks, and mental fortress, which gives that unit a 4-up and vulnerable save. That's not bad. That's pretty good. 4-up and vulnerable save is pretty good.
4-up and vulnerable save.
The same with the other librarian. Let's have a look at the librarian in Phobos armor. I think this is the one that gives a stealthy kind of. So they add stealth ability. That unit cannot be targeted by ranged attacks unless the attacking model is within 12 inches. And then you have the Terminator one. And he has Veil of Time. Okay, he gives the unit sustained hits. It just says weapons equipped as well, not melee, so both types of weapons. That'd be quite fun in a Terminator squad, actually.
Lightning claws.
Lightning claws, also, but I was thinking actually more of standard Terminators because their bolters would have
you get
sustained.
them on the bolters and the fists.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean the Chaos Terminator Sorcerer is quite cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a reroll. Might be wrong. And obviously it improves the AP on a target.
Oh yes, cool. Remember because you use that one in our team game. Before. Yeah.
But like, if you gave a squad a 4-up invulnerable save, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I suppose it depends on what you put it with. I mean, you could, giving a certain units that would be very powerful. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's a normal librarian, so actually depends who you can lead, doesn't it? Let's have a look. To be fair, I mean you can go Assault Squad, Desolation Squad, Devastator, Hellblaster, Infernus, Intercessor, Stern Guard, Veteran, or Tactical Squad. So any of them.
A normal librarian.
Yeah, it's a standard librarian.
Yeah, it's quite a nice selection, really.
Yeah. I'll have a quick look through these things here, and I think we're probably getting near wrap-up time. I think.
Yeah.
So we've got someone saying Reavers begged. Okay, Reavers. I wanted to like Reavers. I must admit. I have tried them several times. I do actually have 10. They never really gelled with my style of play. I think. I did try to use them as that kind of terror troop thing. I think at one point, which that was back when leadership was, I think, more damaging to the results. Because obviously now it's not really about killing units. It's just about taking away obviously objective scoring. It just needs a bit of focus on one psychic discipline per army plus each subsequent attempt to cast it. Yeah, this is what I was basically saying. I think the cherry picking thing is the bit that's silly because people pick the thing that it is. So just make psychic abilities. They're just good, and have a couple of them that you can pick which are both good, and it's more like a style of play. But still keep a list of powers you can pick from and cast like a space wizard. Dow says that the problem is factions that are heavily focused on psychic have lost their identity. I keep going back to Elder, but it's just lackluster. Same with 1,000 Suns. Just to clarify, +1 to cast the same power multiple times in the same turn, so few psychers can all cast different powers without penalty. If you try and spam the best power, it gets harder and harder. Yeah, that's cool. That's yeah, fair enough. Some pretty good answers there. Time to write off to Games Workshop, I think.
Yeah, it's a little petition.
Anyway, are we happy to end on that note, Dom?
Yeah, I'm going to carry on painting my beautiful models.
Very nice. It doesn't sound like you mean that, though. I don't know. As in, no, you are going to carry on painting, but it doesn't sound like you think they're beautiful.
I mean, to be fair, right, they are growing on me a little bit, but I'm only ever going to have 10, Tom.
Okay.
If you buy them for me, I will send them back.
What if I buy them pre-painted?
Yeah, you can do that. You can buy them pre-painted for me.
Okay, didn't say the standard, so we've got a deal.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as you accept that, Tom. I'll be like, sorry. These are the ones. These are what you got me.
Anyway, on that sad note about jackals, thank you all very much for watching. About jackals. I have been Tom, and this has been
Tom.
And we both make up Black Day Studio. It's been a pleasure talking this evening. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of the week, and we will catch you on Tuesday next week, or the flip side.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Bye-bye.